Hi guys, this is Rocio from Mama Abroad, and today I wanted to talk about some of the books that I've read to prepare for my baby's arrival. Ever since I got pregnant, I found this new interest for everything baby related, which I think is what happens to most people that are expecting. But for me, especially around pregnancy and around birth, you want to be as prepared as possible. And as much as you think you know about it, it's very different once you are the one going through it. Now, the good news is that, at least for me, my pregnancy has really made me connect with my body a lot more. And I've found this new sense of just respect and admiration for it that I just never really had before. I feel completely safe in my own body's hands, if you know what I mean. Um, I really feel that at 34 weeks, I feel as prepared as I am going to be um, to let go and let my body take over and do what it's designed to do. Definitely, some of the books that I've read have helped me get to this point and find this peace. And that's why I wanted to share with you. I'm gonna put the links in the descriptions of the books that I'm gonna talk about on the description of the video so that you guys can do some research on them later on. The first one I read is called Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, and it's by a doctor called Christiane Northrup. Now, this is a book that was lent to me by a really good friend, so I don't actually have it. It's a very big book. I am definitely planning on buying it sometime in the future. I read only two chapters, the chapter on pregnancy and on birth. And this really opened up my eyes, like it really is a great way to start your pregnancy and to learn how to handle all the things that you just are not familiar with and that your body's basically doing by itself without you actually having to do anything. And it is wonderful. It helped me find that exact connection between body, mind, and spirit, and just basically realize that I have nothing to worry about. So definitely recommend that one. And even if you can't read the whole of it or buy all of it, just get hold of those two chapters on pregnancy and birth. Definitely worth it. Now, the second book that I read is actually not about pregnancy or birth. It's a book by Glennon Melton. It's this one right here called Carry On Warrior. And it's about motherhood. It's her own account on it, how she came a mom and her own experiences. She's had, like all of us, just a couple of things that she struggled with, and being a mom is not straightforward. There's no one way to do it right, and she's just very honest and authentic about what she's learned, the mistakes that she's made, and some of the conclusions are really, really insightful. Especially just around how the most important things, not you being perfect, but making sure that you teach your children things like kindness and thankfulness. So it's really, really good, and I found it really insightful. I recommend it as well. The one that I'm reading right now is a book by a very famous American midwife called Ina May, and it's Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. The first half of the book is basically just birth stories, and they're all completely different. Ina May she's assisted thousands and thousands of births. She actually has this place called the Farm, where women come to give birth, and basically she's compiled all these different stories about of women, throughout the years. How they felt, how it went, how long it took, what they struggled with. It's very, very honest, and it just kind of helps you understand that your birth is going to be different to anyone else's. Because, and this is really important, because once you're pregnant, you'll hear a lot of horror stories about birth, especially, and about raising children. Suddenly people start telling you about how painful it is, how all the horrible things that happen to them or to people that they know, and you can get really scared, and so this is really good, to kind of understand that the experience is different for everyone. It really has a lot to do with you being prepared in here and here. And the second half is more about different approaches to birth. Basically mainly the natural one, a midwifery one, and then the second one, the medical, like technical approach, which is a lot more common and popular in the world now, at least in Western world. And yeah, I mean, it has so much insights. I mean, for her, for being a midwife for like something like 30, 40 years, and also, like about the different perceptions of birth in different cultures and throughout time, all the things that have been learned. And yeah, I mean, super, super insightful. I really, really recommend this book to prepare. I definitely feel a lot more ready now. And I thank Iname for that, definitely, and all the women that decided to share their experiences. And then the last one is a book that I didn't actually read now whilst I was pregnant, but read it before. Now that I am pregnant and about to be a mom, I definitely appreciate all that I learned from it a lot more. It's a book by an author that I really, really like. Her name is Elif Shafak. She's a Turkish writer, and this book is based on a personal story. She never really expected to be a mom. She had postpartum depression, which is actually something that's very common. It happens to a lot more women than that we realize. As with most mental illnesses, taboo, and it's a problem because it needs to be treated like any other. She found that motherhood made her face a lot of things, and kind of like have to find herself and to be able to be there for her baby. And she has a really interesting way of describing everything that happened to her, and I really, really like it. And those different books that I read makes me realize that there's an important connection, between your mind and your body, but not just that, also your heart. In order to be ready for birth and also to be ready for motherhood, it's definitely going to be the biggest challenge you'll ever have. This is definitely a time to kind of like step up to it, and a birth is definitely a very empowering, kind of intense moment in a woman's life. But a lot of times, especially in Western cultures, this is actually taken away from women, and you actually end up being tended to and being taken care of and being handled. And definitely want to use the experience of birth as an empowering one. And I definitely feel like I already feel more empowered through pregnancy, through the miracle of like having life inside of you. And I can't wait to be a mom. Can't wait to give birth. It's going to be very spiritual, very emotional, the most intense things ever between me and my baby. And yeah, I really admire women so much, especially those that choose to share all the learnings with the rest of us. But yeah, all these women have really helped me prepare. So thank you so much. I hope that you guys find this useful. And remember, I'll put all the information about the books that I mentioned in the description of the video below. And I'll see you guys really, really soon. Bye.